Look at me. Look at me. Look at me. Ain't I a woman? 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 Nobody ever helped me. All my water. Or in two carriages. Or give me any best place. But look at me. Ain't I a woman? Look at me. Ain't I a woman?
Thank you for joining Gathering At, the Laundromat Project's 15th anniversary celebration. I'm Dr. Deb Willis, artist, professor, and chair of the Department of Photography and Imaging at the Tisch School of the Arts at New York University. I love the LP because of its fierce dedication to making art, building community, and creating change. They center artists and makers of color who work in deep partnership with organizations and neighbors on issues that matter to all of us. Let's take a moment to salute the extraordinary work they've accomplished in their first 15 years and look forward to 15 more. Thank you.
Good evening. I am Kemi Alesami, Executive Director of the Laundromat Project, and I'm thrilled to welcome you tonight. In fact, we are over the moon that you have joined us virtually to both look back at the LP's first 15 years and to join us in the excitement of the work we have ahead. Before we begin, I'd like to acknowledge that tonight the LP gathers on traditional Lenape and Canarsie lands that bear the blood, sweat, and tears of displaced Indigenous peoples, as well as enslaved Africans. We gather on land that even now is too often toiled by people of color, the poor, immigrants, and the undocumented. It is in this profound knowledge that we pay our respects to elders past, present, and future. We also gather to imagine, to create, and to practice new futures as these elders would want for us. In this pivotal moment in our nation's history, the LP is doubling down on activating artists in service of community, for now and for the future. In that spirit, we gather to act, and we gather and act. We have an exciting program ahead, highlighting the profound power of civic action with a special focus on the power of voting. Throughout the evening, we are thrilled to highlight excerpts of works by 5 dynamic LP artists, jointly commissioned by us and the Park Avenue Armory. You will see video excerpts by Abby Dobson, whose beautiful, haunting voice welcomed us to today's program, Jaime Sunwoo, LaTasha N, Katherine Toukhy, and Karina Aguilera Skvirsky. You've already seen the work of Katherine Toukhy, as her powerful collage, We Are the Fabric, was what graced the invitation for tonight's event. Thank you all for being here. I must express a special thanks to the Gather and Act Committee and to the co-chairs, Susan Schneck Sawyers and Merrill Williams Atkins. We are honored to be in community with all of you. I also want to take a moment to celebrate the LP's founder, Risa Wilson. She is here tonight, and it is her vision, hard work, and passion that laid the groundwork for everything that led to this evening. We thank her for that, and we are here because she dreamed us here. As a part of our celebration of the Laundromat Project's first 15 years, and in the spirit of community, we are also excited to shine a light on some of the amazing partners we've worked with over the last 15 years. Tonight, we welcome you to join us in celebrating the incredible contributions of Harriet's Apothecary, Kelly Street Garden, Brooklyn Movement Center, and the North Star Fund, particularly their Let Us Breathe Fund. Thank you for joining us, and please enjoy tonight's program.
Good evening, beautiful ones. My name is Jenna Wortham. I am a journalist, I'm a writer, I'm a podcast host, and I am a community care worker. I am so honored to have the privilege to introduce the following organization to you tonight. Harriet's Apothecary is an intergenerational healing village inspired by one and only the legendary Harriet Tubman. This organization was created specifically with Black people in mind, specifically with Indigenous people in mind, specifically with people of color in mind, to help us on our journeys towards wellness, embodiment, and liberation. The collective is led by fierce and brilliant and incredible Black women and queer women and trans women who are healers and activists, healthcare professionals. They are also magicians, and they are ancestors. The past few days, weeks, months, centuries have shown us something we've already known, that healing justice is critical. as are community spaces where we can recover from the endless trauma inflicted upon us and our loved ones. It is eternally essential. I hope that you leave tonight as inspired as I am by their work. Once again, it is my absolute honor to introduce to you tonight the Community Impact Honoree, Harriet's Apothecary.
Hey folks, my name is Adaku Uta. I use she, he, they, and Black unicorn pronouns. And alongside Harriet Tubman and my fellow Harriet's Apothecary tribe members, I am the co-founder of Harriet's Apothecary. We are an all-Black healing justice collective who are committed to cultivating movements and spaces that center the healing, wellness, and safety of Black, Indigenous, and people of color. And we feel really honored to be continuing the legacy, the traditions of healing and joy and care that our ancestors have so brilliantly paved the pathway for. We're so honored and grateful to be receiving this award, this recognition, and we know that we are one of many people like y'all who are watching this video who are just as committed and doing powerful work, whether as healers, as teachers, as organizers, as people who deeply care about how we are honored, valued, and treated with dignity in this moment and in this time. And thank you for the work that you're doing, whether it's just getting up in the morning or leading an organizing campaign or creating a healing space. We see you out here. We're honored by you as well. I want to thank the Laundromat Project. I was a fellow in 2015. Where does the time go? And this space, this organization has been such an instrumental pathway of growth and leadership and connection in my own journey. And Laundromat Project, you are a gift to this universe and to so many artists and organizers who are thinking really critically about how to engage purpose with creativity and action and interdependence with organizing and art. And I feel so honored to get to be a part of this community. And for folks who are a part of the LP, you are very lucky and so blessed. And I wish for you reciprocity. I imagine if you're a part of this community, you're probably somebody who gives a lot. And I hope that you also get held and given to in return, and that your body, your mind, your spirit, your soul keeps receiving what you need to be alive in these times, as quiet or as loud as that needs to be, and that you feel very connected and held and loved. Thank you for who you are. Thank you for existing. It is an honor to live in these times with you.
And petitioning for the Equal Rights Amendment. So basic that people assume it's already in the Constitution. So while we continue the fight for a more perfect union, let's unravel our history and honor suffragists of color. The women of the Haudenosaunee Confederacy, the oldest continuously functioning democracy in the world, who taught suffragists like Stanton, Mott, and Gage that women could and should have equal power to men. Native American activists Zitkalasha and Suzette LaFlèche Tibbles, who fought for Native American rights and citizenship. Native Hawaiian suffragists Wilhelmina Dowsett, who led Hawaiian women, fellow Hapa women, and Asian women to fight for suffrage in Hawaii. Activist Mabel Pinghua Lee, who organized fellow Chinese Americans in New York City's Chinatown to advocate for women's rights and suffrage. Latinx activists Maria de Lopez, the first woman to give a speech in Spanish in support of women's suffrage, and Annalena Otero Warren, who led the movement in New Mexico. Ida B. Wells, Sojourner Truth, Mary Church Terrell, and the many Black abolitionists and suffragists who implicitly recognize that Black liberation and women's empowerment are intertwined. Let's raise our cup to women working in solidarity to advance equality for all. I'll drink to that.
Hello, hello, hello. My name is Kimberly Drew, and I am an author, activist, and curator based in Brooklyn, New York. I am also a very proud friend of the LP, and so tonight it is my distinct honor to introduce our next honoree, the Community Impact Honoree, the Brooklyn Movement Center, a Black-led, community-based organization that works with residents in Bed-Stuy and Crown Heights to uplift and support Black voices. Their organization is endlessly and tirelessly committed to the issues of our day, which include anything from tenants' rights to police accountability. And so tonight, I hope you will join me in the LP as we celebrate their work, as we continue to learn from them, because I know I am not alone in saying that we need their work so deeply right now in this critical time. And so, without further ado, the Brooklyn Movement Center.
Peace, family. My name is Mark Winston Griffith, and I'm so honored to be sharing this space and this moment of celebration, community building, and irrepressible Black brilliance with the one, the only Laundromat Project. BMC is a Black-led, membership-based social justice organization building power for Black people in central Brooklyn and across New York City, state, and the nation. If you know of the fight to defund the NYPD this past year, to build the Central Brooklyn Food Co-op, or of race, class, and power in American cities and schools brought to vivid life through the School Colors podcast, well, then you know our work. Over the years, the Laundromat Project has been a kindred social justice spirit as we have both intersectionally grounded our work in issues like gentrification, community safety, food sovereignty, and climate change. LP and BMC share a deep conviction that art, politics, neighborhood democracy, and action must all live together in the business of transforming Black and people of color communities and the wider world in which we live. As LP and BMC have partnered on initiatives over the years, we've proven that grassroots organizing doesn't have to be a process of scarcity and competition among peers, but a playground of joy, abundance, and shared wonderment. And so, as I congratulate LP on its 15th year anniversary, my deepest wish is that LP and BMC continue to make Black and brown liberation not just a catchphrase, but a real and conscious state of mind, body, and community in our lifetime. Peace and one heart.
In 1984, Mississippi finally ratified the 19th Amendment. What does that mean now? No, ma'am. Right. And he wasn't pulling no wagon. More like pushing. Dragging.
everyone. My name is Atoy Ramos Fermin, and I'm an artist and director of programs at the Laundromat Project. I am thrilled to introduce tonight's Community Impact Honoree, Kelly Street Garden. The garden is a forever partner of the LP and was our neighbor for 5 wonderful years. It is a welcoming, healing green space that offers a sense of pride, hope, and purpose to residents of Kelly Street and the South Bronx. At the garden, they grow more than food, they grow community. It is an honor to share their voices and work with you this evening. Join me in celebrating Kelly Street Garden.
So Kelly Street Garden is a gathering of people, but also a resource of family. And our main projective is growth. Growing community, growing food, growing unity, but most of all, growing love and respect for one another.
So because the garden, Kelly Street Garden started, I bring out the hidden artists in me, and the Laundromat Project brought it out even more. So after a 10-year of absence of doing art, because of the Kelly Street Garden, art, I previously painted mural, but it ended up bringing out that artist in me again, and Laundromat Project helped that, and the garden helped that. For me, it's peace, calm, getting rid of problems in the world for at least a little while. It lets me get in touch with myself, gives me exercise, discovery, time to myself, and to nature and the world. That's what the garden is to me.
The phrase I hear most from folks who visit this garden is that Kelly Street Garden is an oasis in the Bronx. And while I agree with that, I believe that it is more than that. We are meant to be stewards of this land. We are meant to take care of this space because it's a reference space. And by that I mean that all the earth, all the land is a reference space.
Good evening, and thank you, Kemi, Gather and Act co-chairs, supporters, artists, honorees, and friends. My name is George Suttles, Director of Research for the Common Fund Institute, and I serve as board chair for the Laundromat Project. I wanted to take a moment to thank all the past staff and board who have brought us to this point. I must also thank our fearless leader, Kemi Alesimi. While we celebrate the LP's first 15 years, I have the honor of shining a little light on the LP's bright future. The future is as bright as these lights behind me. On behalf of the entire LP board, I'm thrilled to announce that our new Creative Community Hub will be located in Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn. And as a matter of fact, I'm coming to you from the future site of our home, right on Fulton Street. While the LP will continue to serve communities throughout New York City, we're thrilled to have a new physical space which unites operations and programs in Brooklyn. And actually, this brings us back to our roots from our first project, which launched over 15 years ago. The COVID-19 pandemic has reminded us why connection, community, and neighbors are so important. And we look forward to welcoming you to our space when it's safe. I'd like to express my heartfelt thanks to each and every one of you for making everything the LP does possible. And now I have the great pleasure of introducing our fourth and final Community Impact Honoree, the North Star Fund and its Let Us Breathe Fund. I am such a fan of the North Star Fund and all of the staff and community of donors and organizers that the North Star Fund represents. This fund is the only NYC-based fund led by Black activists and prioritizes organizing of communities directly impacted by broken windows, policing, poverty, and injustice in New York City. LP community, it is my pleasure to introduce Jennifer Ching, Executive Director of the North Star Fund.
Hi, I'm Jen Ching, and I'm the Executive Director of North Star Fund. We're a New York City-based foundation that supports grassroots organizing led by communities of color building power. We organize people from all backgrounds to mobilize money and resources for social justice movements. In 2015, in the wake of Eric Garner's murder by the NYPD, we founded the Let Us Breathe Fund to support Black-led organizing in New York in support of abolition, eradicating state violence, and structural racism. Over the past several years, the Let Us Breathe Fund has provided long-term support to dozens of emerging and established organizing campaigns in all 5 boroughs. North Star Fund is so proud to be a part of the Laundromat Project's ecosystem. We share your commitment to help community members become change agents. Happy 15th from all of us at North Star Fund to everyone in the beautiful LP community. You inspire us to remember that the fight for liberation is a joyous one, that artists' voices are critical in our collective journey, and that we all have a role in transforming our communities. Congratulations and happy 15th.
To hold that vision of liberation, to know where you come from. I think to be able to push for such a big vision, that we can barely even put into words, you have to be connected to something much, much greater than you, yourself as an individual, which is where the title We Are the Fabric comes from. So, read and listen and learn from other places, learn from other cultures, learn from the people around you, the people that are protesting now, and carry it in you. Let it speak to you, and let it feed whatever movement that you're pushing for today.
I am very worried about our country now. I feel that the whole country is a swamp, and we are deep down in that swamp, right up to our necks. And my fear is that we will not be able to dislodge ourselves from this horrific cesspool that we have been impelled in by the rampant corruption of the present government officials.
Wow, Karina, thank you for such a powerful reminder of why this year it's more important than ever to not only vote, but to have a plan in place to make sure your vote actually counts. There's so much at stake for ourselves and our communities. Thank you to all of our artists today. Your work really shows us the way forward. And thank you, extraordinary people, every one of you, for joining us in celebration of the Laundromat Project's first 15 years. I'd like to thank all of the people who made this evening possible, including our incredible honorees, beautiful artists, program co-hosts, Gather and Act co-chairs and committee members, production partners, and each and every one of you. I especially want to thank the hardworking, passionate, creative LP staff and our wonderful, generous board. If you have been enlightened or inspired this evening, we encourage you to get involved with the work of our Community Impact Honorees. Thank you to each of them for all the work that they do and how they show us the way forward and how to do it together. And if you'd like to continue along the LP's journey, we encourage you to join one of our upcoming events, including the People Power Challenge, our annual community-driven fundraising effort that begins tonight unofficially and officially runs from October 5th to the 14th. We at the LP believe that the insights, provocations, and love that artists bring to the world are critical, essential even, to transforming and empowering our communities with creativity. With them in our corner, we look forward to another 15 years of making art, building community, and creating change with you. And so, to close out, we welcome back Abby Dobson, who will be summoning our ancestors and living sheroes, those who inspire us to gather in joy and act in resistance every day. Won't you join her and us in saying these names out loud in your homes, wherever you are, out of your windows? And we invite you to add the names of your sheroes, your ancestors. We need them all. Together, we will make it. Together, we will win. So thank you. With light and abundance, we thank you for joining us tonight and wish you a wonderful evening. Asha, thank you.
Whatever the cost, I'll say her name. Whatever the cost, I'll say her name. Shirley Chisholm, Alexia Christian, Fannie Lou Hamer, Breonna Taylor, Barbara Jordan, Shelley Fry, Angela Davis, Chantel Davis, Sandra Bland, Tanisha Anderson, Ida B. Wells, Natasha McKenna, Ella Baker, Rakia Boyd, Polly D. Murray, Maya Hall, Maya Angelou, Tatiana Jefferson, Toni Morrison, Corinne Gaines, Bessie Smith, Megan Hockaday, Asada Shakur, Marielle Franco, Sonia Sanchez, Eleanor Bumpers, Kimberly Crenshaw, Barbara Arnwine, Deborah Danner, Ruthie Gilmore, Kayla Moore, Nina Simone, India Beatty, India Kager, Aretha Franklin, Carol Mosley Braun, Michelle Cousseau, Stacey Abrams, Frances Lenore Clark Burrell, Darnella Frazier, Ayanna Stanley Jones. For all those I cannot name, for all those I cannot name.